Melody DeMeo, known professionally as Mimi Miyagi, was born on July 3, 1973, in Davao City, on the island of Mindanao, in the Philippines. Raised in a conservative and deeply religious family affiliated with the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Melody's early life was shaped by the principles of modesty, discipline, and a strict moral code. Her parents were devout and protective, seeking to instill strong Christian values in their children. Melody was the second of 4 siblings, and the family household was imbued with both religious observance and traditional Filipino customs. Mimi's film career and notoriety. At the age of 6, Melody's family migrated to the United States in search of a better life and educational opportunities. They settled in Southern California, where she experienced a major cultural shift. The contrast between the deeply religious values of her home and the liberalism of American society created an inner tension that would characterize much of her young adult life. When she reached her teenage years, her parents sent her back to the Philippines to attend a religious boarding school, Mindanao Mission Academy, in the hopes of shielding her from Western temptations and providing a structured, faith-based environment. She continued her studies at Mountain View College in Bukidnon, where she pursued finance and economics. However, Melody's ambitions and restlessness pushed her to make a bold decision. She dropped out during her second year and returned to the United States to follow a dream she had long suppressed, a life in the spotlight. Upon her return to the U.S., Melody explored opportunities in the modeling and acting world. She initially worked as a model and dancer in Las Vegas and Los Angeles, where she began to gain traction in the mature entertainment circuit. Inspired by the character Mr. Miyagi from the film The Karate Kid, and encouraged by friends to embrace an exotic-sounding stage persona, she adopted the name Mimi Miyagi. Mimi was a childhood nickname, and Miyagi was both a nod to pop culture and an ironic subversion of the demure Asian stereotype. Her petite frame, striking Filipino features, and engaging personality quickly caught the attention of mature film producers. Mimi's ethnic identity played a significant role in her branding, as she was marketed within a niche genre that catered to fetishized notions of Asian femininity. Despite this often reductive framing, Mimi would become one of the most recognizable Asian performers in mature entertainment during the 1990s. Mimi's first films debuted in the early 1990s, and she swiftly gained popularity for her performances, which blended eroticism with a sense of playfulness and confidence. She starred in a number of popular titles throughout the decade and became a regular feature in mature magazines such as Hustler, Penthouse, and Club. Her screen presence was notable not only for its sensuality, but for a charisma that set her apart from other actresses of the era. Her success was not without struggle. Like many performers of color, she often found herself typecast or used to reinforce ethnic stereotypes. However, Mimi used this visibility to create a platform that gave her agency over her image. She co-founded her own mature film production company, Exquisite Multimedia Incorporated, which allowed her to take creative control over the films she appeared in, as well as to produce content that portrayed Asian women in more varied roles. In 1996, at the height of her career, Mimi chose to retire from the mature industry. She cited a desire to pursue more mainstream roles and to lead a more private, grounded life. She married Gino De Maria, and the couple welcomed a daughter, Isabella, in 1998. For several years, she stepped away from the public eye and focused on family life, returned to the industry, and financial hardship. Despite her efforts to transition away from mature films, Melody faced significant financial difficulties following her divorce in 2001. The combination of high legal costs, personal struggles, and the financial burdens of single motherhood prompted her return to mature industry in the early 2000s. In 2003, she made a public comeback, appearing in new films and launching her personal website, where she engaged directly with fans and marketed exclusive content. Though she was older than most newcomers in the industry, her name recognition and loyal fan base ensured a successful return. She also began producing the Fant in New York series, a collection of mature films with strong Asian-themed narratives that mix cultural identity with erotic storytelling. Despite renewed success, Mimi was candid about the toll the industry had taken on her emotionally and psychologically. She became a vocal advocate for performer rights, mental health awareness, and better working conditions for women in mature entertainment. Mimi Miyagi's fame in mature films brought her opportunities in mainstream media. She appeared in music videos, independent films, and guest spots on talk shows. She also launched her own blog and wrote columns discussing politics, religion, sex, and Asian American identity. She used her growing platform to deconstruct the fetishization of Asian women in media, often critiquing the limited roles available to actresses of Asian descent. Her commentary was both personal and political, weaving together her experiences as a performer, immigrant, and mother. In 2002, she posed for a pictorial in Playboy, reintroducing herself to a broader audience and presenting a new, empowered image of herself. This period marked the beginning of a shift from mature star to cultural figure. In one of the most unexpected and talked about moves of her life, Melody DeMeo announced in 2006 that she was running for governor in Nevada as a Republican. Her campaign slogan, "I'm bare and honest at all times," was both a clever nod to her past and a declaration of her commitment to transparency in politics. Running under her legal name, she advocated for several progressive policies, including anti-stalking laws, First Amendment rights, and mental health support. She also called for more women and minorities in public office. Her campaign received considerable media coverage, often focusing on her unconventional background rather than her policy positions. Nevertheless, she used every interview and appearance to speak seriously about issues affecting working-class Nevadans. While she ultimately lost the Republican primary to Jim Gibbons, her campaign was seen as a landmark in the intersection of mature entertainment and politics. Melody's run highlighted questions about who gets to participate in public discourse and whether one's past should disqualify them from public service. Personal life, faith, and spiritual reconnection. Throughout her life, Melody has maintained a complex relationship with faith. Though she was raised in a devout household and educated in religious schools, her career choices created an estrangement from the church. In later years, however, she began reconnecting with her spiritual roots. She has spoken publicly about her belief in God, her love for the teachings of Jesus, and her desire to be a better example for her daughter. She has also engaged in volunteer work, particularly with underprivileged children in the Philippines, where she supports local NGOs and promotes education for girls. Her personal reflections often touch on themes of redemption, forgiveness, and transformation. In interviews, she has described her journey as one of falling and rising again, stressing that she does not regret her past, but sees it as a stepping stone to a broader purpose. Legacy and cultural impact. Mimi Miyagi's impact extends beyond mature film. As one of the most prominent Asian American women in the mature industry, during the 1990s and 2000s, she helped challenge both racial and sexual norms. Her willingness to speak publicly about exploitation, racism, and empowerment helped spark conversations about representation, feminism, and agency in old work. In 2011, she was ranked number 12 in Complex Magazine's list of top 50 hottest Asian stars of all time, further cementing her place in the annals of mature entertainment history. However, her legacy is more than just cinematic. She is frequently cited in academic discussions of race, gender, and media, particularly in Asian American and feminist studies. Through her political activism, blogging, and public advocacy, she blurred the line between taboo and mainstream, confronting the hypocrisy and moralism of American media. Her life is often compared to that of Ilona Staller, Sixialina, and other mature entertainers who pursued public office, reflecting broader global discussions about sex positivity and stigma, current endeavors and reflections. As of the 2020s, Melody DeMeo has remained largely out of the spotlight, focusing on private life, writing, and spiritual growth. She continues to be active on social media, where she engages with fans, shares insights on parenting, aging, and healing, and occasionally revisits stories from her past. She has hinted at plans for an autobiography, which would delve deeper into her experiences growing up between cultures, navigating fame, enduring scandal, and seeking peace. Mimi Miyagi's story is one of paradox and power. A woman born into conservative religiosity who became a symbol of sexual liberation, a marginalized ethnic figure who claimed visibility in a space not built for her, a former mature star who ran for political office in one of the most scrutinized races in recent Nevada history. In the decades since her rise to fame, she has continually reinvented herself, challenged the status quo, and used her platform to provoke thought and advocate change. Her life is a testament to the complexities of identity, the power of self-definition, and the courage to live authentically against all odds.